Hey guys, so we're gonna do this little spicy yoga flow, a little workout. It was a workout for me, anyways. I was sweating, but we're gonna get started. Just sitting here, taking a couple deep breaths. You could sit how I'm sitting, or you could sit cross legged, whatever's comfortable for you. But just kind of tune into your body. Take a couple deep breaths, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. So let's make sure we set an intention that we want to hold throughout this practice, this yoga practice, or maybe even throughout the whole day if you're doing this in the morning. And we're going to get started. We're going to come onto all fours and do a couple rounds of cat and cow. We're going to inhale, arch our back. Exhale, we're going to lift our head. Inhale, arch your back. Exhale, releasing. One more time. Inhale, exhale. And then we're going to come down, reaching our hands towards the top of our mat. This is called puppy pose. It's a really great stretch for your back. And then we're going to bring our hips down to our mat and look up. Just a little back stretch, another one. And then we're going to bring our hands to align with our shoulders, and we're going to push up in cobra pose. And we're going to release down to the ground. Inhaling, we're going to push back up. Exhaling, release back down to the ground. Then we're going to inhale and we're going to push up to plank. We're going to exhale, push it back into downward facing dog. We're going to pedal it out. And then we're going to lift our right leg into the air, bring right knee to right elbow, push our leg back, and then we're going to step between our hands into this low lunge, taking a deep breath, inhaling. And we're going to exhale, land that left knee down to the ground and straighten out through your right leg as much as you can. Then we're going to bend back into that right leg, lifting our right hand up into the air into this twisted lunge. Then we're going to release, straightening out through both of our legs as much as we can. You might want to bring that back leg in just a little bit. Then we're going to bend into that right leg again and bring our right leg back to meet our left foot in a downward dog. We're going to do that to the left side. So left leg into the air, knee to elbow, back into the air, then step between the hands into a low lunge. We're going to inhale, exhale, let that right knee down to the ground and try to straighten out through your left leg. Then we're going to bring it back and we're going to do our twisted lunge. So left hand goes into the air and that right knee comes off the ground. Then we're going to straighten out both of our legs. Your knees can always stay bent a little bit, it's okay. Then we're going to bring that left leg back to meet the right leg in a downward dog. We're going to roll over to plank, and then we're going to release our hips hovering over the mat in an upward facing dog. We're going to push our hips back into downward facing dog. We're going to lift our right leg into the air. Then we're going to bring knee to elbow, and we're going to push it back, and then we're going to step between our hands. We're going to twist it out and lifting our right hand into the air like we did already. We're going to slowly, with control, lift up into a high lunge. Stay in your twist, so your right hand is reaching back, your left hand is reaching forward. Take a deep breath, inhaling through the nose. Exhaling, we're going to bring our hands forward. Bringing our hands above our head, we're going to release our right knee down to the ground, and we're going to come into a half split. Maybe our hands are reaching back, maybe they're on the floor. Take a deep breath. We're going to bend back into our right knee, and we're going to come up into warrior two. We want our shoulders aligned with our hips. We want to be bending into that right knee, left knee straight, hands straight out. We're going to reverse our warrior, and then we're going to come down, bring our right hand down to, I don't know, you guys saw what I did. Reverse our warrior, and then we're going to come into this squat to the back of our mat. And then we're going to come and squat on the other side. So right knee is bent. And then once again, we're going to go to the back of our mat and squat on that side. So our left leg is bent. Then we're going to come into a low lunge facing the back of our mat. We're going to put weight into our left leg and come off of that back leg into warrior three. We're going to hold. And then slowly, with control, we're going to bring that right leg up in front of us. Maybe it's higher than mine, maybe it's lower than mine. We're going to hold. Engage your core. We're going to bring that foot back into warrior three. It's okay if you lose your balance. See there, I had to catch my balance. You just get back into it. Okay, one more time. We're going to bring it up and forward. Hold it. Take deep breaths. And then we're going to release back into warrior three. You could bend into your left leg. We're going to release our foot down to the ground and come into warrior two. Stay with me. We're going to reverse our warrior. And then we're going to fold over, like come into the middle of the mat and fold over your legs. I'm going to inhale, rise, exhale, bend more into this. Then we're going to come to face the front of our mat in a low lunge. We're going to take a deep breath and exhale. We're going to push that right leg back to meet our left leg. Take a deep breath. We're going to roll over to plank. Then we're going to exhale, lower down, and lift up into upward facing dog. Then we're going to push our hips back into downward facing dog. We're going to lift our left leg into the air. And then knee to elbow. Push it back. Step between our hands into a low lunge. Take a deep breath. And we're going to exhale, twist it out, lifting our left hand into the air. And then with control, engaging our core, we're going to come up. Left hand reaching back, right hand reaching forward, bending into our left leg as much as we can. We're going to come forward, bringing our hands above our head. Inhale. Exhale, release our right knee down to the ground. Come into your half split. Straightening out that left leg as much as you can. Maybe bringing your hands down to the ground. We're going to come into a low lunge, and we're going to lift up into warrior two. Stay bent in that left leg. We're going to reverse our warrior. And then we're going to come into this, I don't even know what to call this. I need to look it up. And then reverse your warrior again. And then we're going to come into this squat at the back of our mat. So right leg is bent, left leg is straight. Then we're going to come onto the other side. We're going to bend into our left leg, right? Is that the left leg? Yeah. You go back to the other side. And then right here, we're going to twist into our low lunge, putting weight into our left leg. We're going to hop off that back leg into warrior 3. Find your balance. Obviously, it took me a minute. Make sure we're lifting up into that leg as much as we can. Keeping it engaged. We're going to bring it forward. Don't worry about how high your foot is. Just make sure you're getting the most out of it. Then we're going to throw it back. Taking a deep breath. Exhaling, we're going to bring it forward. Bring it back. And we're going to land our foot down to the ground into warrior 2. Then we're going to reverse our warrior. And then we're going to fold over our legs in this fold. And then we're going to inhale. We're going to bring our heels in, toes out. This is called goddess pose, I believe. And we're going to reach up, bending into both of our knees as much as we can. We're going to hold this. Do you feel the burn? Because I do. Let's release, straighten out our legs, lift our hands to the sky. Then we're going to come into a low lunge, facing the front of our mat, kick that leg back, come into downward dog, roll over to plank, lower down and push up into upward facing dog. We're going to push our hips back into child's pose, catch our breath. Take a couple deep breaths, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. We're going to come back into downward facing dog. We're going to bend our knees and we're going to jump or step to the front of our mat into this yogi squat. You could place blocks under your butt to help you. Or if your feet aren't flat on the ground, you could roll up a blanket or something and place it under there. And we're going to rise, bring our feet hip width apart. I'm going to inhale, bring our hands together. Exhale, we're going to lower into chair pose. You want to make sure your back is straight, engage your core, bending into those knees as much as you can, like you're about to sit into a chair. I don't know about you, but my legs were on fire. Okay, let's lift back up. Whew. Thank God. We're going to release down to the floor. We're going to grab the opposite, elbows. Your right hand is going to grab your left elbow. Your left hand is going to grab your right elbow. And we're just going to, it's called ragdoll. We're going to release. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we're going to step back into plank. Then we're going to lower down and push up into upward facing dog. Then we're going to push our hips. We're going to bring our knees down to the ground and come into this tabletop position. We're going to lower our forearms down to the ground and we're going to come into dolphin pose. We're going to push those hips up. You could bend your knees if you need to. Just kind of make sure your back is straight. Our head is not going to be on the ground, but Maybe you're going to lift one leg and then the other. Maybe they're going to stay where they are. Just make sure you're breathing while you're in this pose, because I'm pretty sure I forgot to breathe. Make sure your core is engaged, you're strong in your arms. We're going to release, bringing our knees down to the mat. Just come into child's pose, take a deep breath real quick. We're not going to stay here for too long. We're going to come onto our hands and our knees into tabletop position. Is that what it's called? Tabletop? I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. Our right hand is going to come up into the air. Then we're going to swing it through our left hand. And this is like called threading the needle, I believe. Let me go Google this stuff because I shouldn't be giving you all wrong information. Okay, yes, thread the needle. We're going to come out of it, reaching our right hand to the sky. We're going to bring it back down to the mat. We're going to do it to the left side. Left hand into the air, thread the needle, bring it between your hand and your leg or whatever, that little opening. Reach your right hand up towards the top of your mat. Just a little bit of a back stretch before we're done. We're going to come out of that, reaching the left hand back to the air, then bring it back down to the floor. I'm going to sit how I'm sitting. You could sit crisscross applesauce. You could lay down on your back. I love to lay on my back, but I kind of wanted to stay active, I guess. I don't know. But we're going to take a couple deep breaths. We're going to recognize how our body is feeling after this session. We're going to thank our body. We're going to remember our intention. We're going to take a couple deep breaths. We're going to meditate for a minute. Okay, I don't think that was a minute, but I encourage you to stay here longer if you can. I'm going to bring my hands to prayer to connect mind and body. I want to thank you for watching. Make sure you give it a like. See you next time.